This is Diamond, the bearded dragon, and the face of this channel, and I want to start a series about every one of the reptiles that you see the most of, and how I got them, and how much work it actually takes to take care of them, what goes on behind the scenes. So today, let's talk all about Diamond. My name's Adam, you're watching Wickens Reptiles, stick around. It was suggested to me in a community poll that I do more videos about the actual animals that I keep individually, and I think it's a great idea, and the best way to start is with Diamond. So if you want to see this as a series and want to see more of my animals get their own video, hit the like button. That's how I know that you actually want to see these videos. So I'm going to tell you how I take care of him, his enclosure, what goes on behind the scenes, how much time do I actually spend hanging out with them, all of that stuff, but right at the beginning, how did I get him? Well, I got a DM one day. I mean, we're talking about, I had bearded dragons as my first reptiles, okay? Back in 2009, I had them, Jackson and Taz, and I love them. And they both died in 2018. And then in 2019, I started this channel, January 14th. And because I didn't have a bearded dragon, I don't know, I didn't really speak the most highly of them, because I think that they're more difficult than the hognose. I guess I had jeweled lacertas, leopard geckos, crested geckos. That was kind of it at the time, and they'll take really little area in comparison to a bearded dragon. So I was kind of thinking, like, I live in a tiny home. I don't really want a bearded dragon that takes, 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. It just doesn't really make sense. But then when I got this DM on Instagram from this guy who said, hey, look, I watch your channel. I think it's great. You don't have a bearded dragon. I have one. I'm moving. Would you like him? So I did. I went and got to this guy's house he was a rapper, and he was moving to LA. And the last piece of furniture in the house was Diamond in a 36 by 18 by 18 enclosure. Too small for a bearded dragon. Either way, I took him home. And then Cages was kind enough to send this enclosure that you see here. There's a whole setup guide right here. I'm gonna get the question in the comments, so there it is for you. So that's where Diamond lives. He lives in a 48 inch by 24 inch by 24 inch, so 4 by 2 by 2 enclosure. It's equivalent to 120 gallons. Strip light on the top, or a UVB tube light, I guess, basking light, a bunch of stuff inside of there. Again, watch the whole setup guide. I don't need to go into it here and make this video longer, but in my opinion, this is the right setup for a bearded dragon. And the nice thing is, because it is bioactive, I do have a cleanup crew in there. I do scoop poop, but I change the substrate maybe once a year, and it doesn't stink, right? So as long as you're keeping up with the maintenance and you have something in there to get what you left behind, you're good to go. They are a semi-arboreal animal, and Diamond, as you can see, tries to get to the top of my head. When I have him outside, he climbs up. When he's in his enclosure and he's basking, he climbs up as high as he can. These animals really would probably do really great in a 4 foot tall enclosure, like what you see with the monkey tail skinks in the back. And I think that I'm probably going to put Diamond into a 4 foot enclosure eventually, once I have a little bit more space. Hint, hint. So basically every day, the lights flip on at 7:30 in the morning, and then they go off around 8:30 at night. And this is just with a smart timer. So with Diamond, I don't really have to do much. There's some days where I literally don't see him at all. There's some days I don't walk into this room. Now, I have a zookeeper who comes a couple times a week, so they're not being neglected. I'm just saying that sometimes I'm not in here. So the day-to-day with Diamond is I come and check on him almost every single day, and I take him out quite a bit. And of course I feed them. Now the feeding I'll get into before the activities that we do to hang out. Generally it's pretty simple. I buy a spring mix that is things like Swiss chard and arugula, endive, stuff like that already mixed. I feed that. Sometimes in the summer I grow Swiss chard and stuff like that, and I mix that up. I grind it up in a food processor. I feed him that. Sometimes I'll feed him a berry or two, and then I feed him crickets about twice a week. Sometimes he gets worms and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's well fed, and the diet's really simple. And then I put some calcium on basically every time that I feed him onto the crickets, sometimes in the salad, and then I put a multivitamin every 3 weeks. So that's my recommendation. I'm not saying this is exactly perfect. Do research on supplementation. It's not something I get really into detail with here because there are so many varying opinions. And Diamond's obviously doing very well. And I will say, when I got this animal, he was stunted. So I think he was 3 years old. That's what the guy told me when I got him. And that was in 2020. I got him in July of 2020. So we're coming up on your gotcha date there, Diamond. But he was even smaller than that. So I know people say, oh, he looks small. He is. It is a boy. I know his name is Diamond. He came with that name. But anyway, he's well fed. Trust me, he's good to go. He's not being starved. He's just small because he probably wasn't fed very much when he was growing up. Oh, and before we move on, I almost forgot the money thing, how much these things take to take care of. Not very much. But Diamond was a very nice guy, and he bought me an early Father's Day gift, my Ridge wallet, that I can store all the money in that I spend on him. Personally, I love Ridge, today's sponsor. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the WWR family. This is my new favorite one. It's the leather one. Absolutely beautiful with the cash strap and the cash that I'm about to go spend on Diamond at the Reptile store right now. I actually got my dad one of these for Father's Day too. It's a really easy gift idea. I feel like most men are still using wallets from like 20 years ago, which is silly goose stuff. Would you use an old flip phone? No. Why are we still using old wallets? Up to 12 cards fit in here and your cash as well, so it holds plenty. 20 colors to choose from. I personally love this new leather one that's completely black. Your paw is my ear, ow. They're all RFID blocking, which means no one can just come up, boop, and steal all your stuff when it's in your pocket. I also use their key case, which is great. This is the carbon fiber one. Really love this one. More or less, you can stick up to 6 keys. I've got 2 in this one. That's all I really need for me. And if you want a matching key case and matching wallet, you save 30% if you buy them together as a bundle. You got nothing to lose. You have 99 days to test drive it. And if you don't like it, send it back for a full refund, and it's got a lifetime warranty. So these things will never let you down. So if you're looking for something for yourself or for your dad, use my link, ridge.com/WWR, and get 40% off. All the way through June 15th. Use ridge.com/WWR and you get 40% off. All right, Diamond, let's get back to the video. Now, in terms of enrichment and bonding with him, in his enclosure, I offer him enrichment. That's why I give him a natural substrate. I give him cork bark and things like that, and the water bowl even looks like a rock, stuff like that. But I always make sure that he gets time outside of his enclosure. I mean, we film together all the time, so this is enrichment alone. But even climbing up my shirt or onto my head, that is enrichment for a dragon. It's different from what they usually have. And then I take him outside in the summer. Now, I do live in Canada, and we have very short summers here, but days like today, where it's, 25 degrees, Matt, the editor, will put, thanks, buddy, appreciate you, in Fahrenheit. So it's plenty warm, and then if you measure like a brick in the heat, it's basically what the hotspot is, and I'll go outside as much as I can for the short amount of time that we have, and I'll play with him outside, literally play with him. Like, I'll put him down and let him run to me, or go in the lounge and just literally sit there, read a book, reply to comments. When I edit reels, it's usually outside, and we're in the sun, and he's getting that natural UVB. Now, I live in a place now where it's a little too humid to keep him outside for the summer, which I would do, but my redfoot tortoises do. If you want to see a video about all the animals I keep outside, I could do that. Just let me know in the comments. Oh, and by the way, I get asked all the time, what morph is he? Diamond is just normal. Like, he's just a classic. That's what they look like in the wild. So he's got really yellow eyes though, which is really cool. You are so handsome. And I get another question all the time. How often does Diamond go to the vet? Diamond has never been to the vet. Well, recently he did have an eye infection and he went to the vet. But the only reason that he ever goes to a veterinarian is if he's sick or needs something done. In general, you don't need to bathe your bearded dragon. I get that question a lot too. Diamond only gets bathed in videos where I show how to bathe things if you need to. This is for reasons like their femoral pores will get clogged and you need to unclog them, which is something that we do, which are the things on the underside of a dragon. Like, so you can see that they're kind of clogged right now, like not really bad, but there are some that are stuck. So tomorrow is a day when the zookeeper comes, and tomorrow we're gonna probably take care of those pores. And then usually when we do that, which is only every few months, we clip the nails as well. If you don't know how to do this, talk to a vet or watch a video. Don't just go hacking nails, because like a dog, if you hit the quick, then they're gonna bleed out, and you don't want to do that to your dragon. And otherwise, I just make sure that he's shedding properly. Sometimes he gets some stuff stuck around his lips, and I help him get that off. But that's kind of it for the routine. I mean, it's really simple. Like I said, days go by where I literally don't have to do anything and the enclosure never opens. And then there's times where I wake up early every day for a week, and then by, I don't know, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I've got some time to go outside, I'm done desk work, and I bring him out all the time. Now, I will say, because you see in the reels, if you follow me on Instagram, please do, right here, if you don't, but I do a lot of reels about the dogs when the dogs are outside, and you'll notice that Diamond is never outside with the dogs. So don't put your dogs and your Diamond together. It's a bad idea. Diamond never sees any other animals at all. Diamond is a solitary creature. Nothing gets to see him except for humans. Because as cute as it is, one day your dog might chomp and then that's kind of it. Like, I know how cute Stevie is, but if she, like, that'd be her last lizard friend. And that is the story of Diamond. Diamond, come here. So you have to say goodbye. Oh, he doesn't head bob, by the way. A lot of people ask. He's a boy, but he doesn't really do the head bombing. Anyway, if you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit like. Let me know in the comments. This is a brand new style of video. What did you think? Should we do more? Is there a way to do them better? Scrap the idea all the way around. you guys, I want you to know as the light burns out. Perfect timing. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. A special thanks to the Patreon subscribers. You guys get videos early, extra videos, all that and more for as little as $1 a month. And because we do videos on Mondays and Thursdays, that means I'll see you in the next one.